Good morning, everybody. I toast to you and all you do. I hope you're having a fantastic day. Camera got dark there. Hello. So, it's almost springtime. Things have been very busy. I've been building garden boxes and getting a path ready to our labyrinth. We're going to create a labyrinth. We've decided it's going to have sunflowers all around it. We have like 10 different varieties of sunflowers from like 8 foot tall to like 3 foot tall. So it should be exciting. So we're getting all of that ready. I smashed my thumb really, really bad with a hammer while we were building garden boxes. But 1 energy and 19 boxes I feel like is a good ratio, so we're doing good. I've got quite a few garden boxes built, and we are chugging along. We have loofahs growing, which will be exciting. So we've got our testers going from seeds from last year to see how many germinated and if any of them are reusable. So far I think we have like 15 of the 108 or something like that loofahs that we got last year. We've got 15 that are sprouting, which is exciting. We had a shorter season because we had hail and we just didn't get them out in time, and it was snowing until like June. So we're glad that some of them were able to ripen and all of that stuff. So that's fun. Hopefully, eventually, I won't have to buy seeds anymore. But if you're looking to buy seeds, I just bought seeds from a company called Eden Brothers. They have great organic American seeds that are non-Monsanto, and so that is a great company. I would definitely recommend. Again, that's Eden Brothers, Eden Brothers. And so I've had a good experience with them. We also just ordered a bunch of wildflower seeds that we're going to be planting that have various amazing magical attributes. And they, I can't remember what that place is called. It's Wildflowers something. Somebody's Wildflowers. I'll look and we'll get that for you. But they have great wildflower seeds of all different kinds. I was able to order like some great different new sages, which is very exciting. Yay! I need more sages because I really don't. But so some like wild meadow sage. It's different than anything else. Not the meadow sage. That's the little whatever. It's like a wild field sage. I don't know. I'll show you guys once it's growing. Anyway, so we've got a lot of things growing. Spring is happening. We are coming up on the spring equinox, which is exciting. This is a time of new beginnings and transformations and just all of this growth. But today's video is actually about the full moon. So let's get into the full moon, which is coming up very quickly here on the 18th. And then we have the... sorry, that's my anniversary. I just put those two things together. My husband and I will be celebrating a lot of years of being married. Not that many. There are some people out there who've been married 70 years and they're like, 11 years is nothing. But we are coming up on 11 years, so that's exciting. But it'll be a magical year. Anyways, so Friday is the full moon. That's the 18th. And then we have the equinox on Sunday. So this energy is really coming all together kind of at a head. This full moon comes with a lot of interesting things on the astrological chart. So first and foremost, this is the last full moon of the astrological year. So on the equinox, we switch to Aries, and the equinox and the new energy and all of this stuff. So that is the astrological new year. It's just kind of funny because there are so many new years in the pagan community. You don't know which one you're going to celebrate. My cousin celebrates the Chinese New Year, and it's really big for her. And so we had this whole thing last month about Happy New Year! Yay! I celebrate the New Year on Yule, so that's the New Year for me. And so we had a big New Year celebration then, and then we have the normal New Year on December 31st, the first of the year, whatever. That one's not as exciting, but it's just kind of funny. We have all of these New Years. So this is the last of the New Years with the astrological New Year, if we're talking about this. See, because we're talking about a circular calendar and everybody starts that circle at a different place on the pie, like I feel like everybody's got their own New Year. But anyways, so this is the last of the New Years that we'll talk about this year. And this full moon that's coming up is The sun is in Pisces and the moon is in Virgo. So this brings this very fluid, transformational, cleansing, purity energy that can bring this pure energy from deep within. And I was just watching one of the astrologers that I follow, and she was talking about how we often get it confused with the Virgo energy. So when we talk about Virgo, often we go to that very analytical, organized, it's this way and it's got to be like this. And that's not necessarily the grand sweeping energy of Virgo. That's just one attribute of this energy that seems to be hyper focused on, because it's easy to like, you guys are so critical about being organized and it's got to be like this, like a pure organizational state. And you can find those kind of, the word just stereotypes for each of the zodiac signs. And we often get caught up in those, but they're not the only thing about that zodiac sign. So for Virgo, we have to remember that Virgo is this pure divine goddess who is true to herself. She is honest and nurturing. She is just. She is truthful. She is pure in a sense of, I am myself, and this is who I am, and I am pure and true to myself. We're not talking about purity like I wash away everything that I am so that I can become this new thing. We're not talking about being something that you're not, or conforming to a norm, which we often get caught up on when we're like, oh, I need to cleanse and I need to become pure, because we're trying to become this pure norm of what we think is this pure state. But we have to let go of this idea that I almost feel is like a Christian ideology of purity, and that we're trying to become pure like Jesus when he is dissolved all of the sins of the people and he took on this pure state. And that's not the purity that we're talking about. You know, we often get confused. You see Virgo as the virgin. And in our modern terms, virgin is this pure, untouched entity. In ancient Greece and Rome, and where these places where these ideologies became associated with this goddess, it wasn't this pure virgin modern definition. It was, a virgin was someone who was pure to themselves and true to themselves and did what was right by themselves, and finding that purity and being strong and just to themselves. And so if you were whatever kind of person, that was the person that you were true to, and therefore you were having this virgin state because you were being true of yourself, pure self. And so in our modern times, with the rise of Christianity and the changing of some of these definitions to kind of fit that, we've taken on that role. It makes much more sense if Mary was a virgin in the sense of our ancestors, to where she was true of herself, knowing that she was going to be the mother of Jesus, and that she instilled and embodied that role and became that person, and she was true to that. It wasn't about immaculate conception. You know, that's a theological debate we don't need to get into, but it is of that nature to where we have this modern definition that doesn't really match with the energy that we're talking about. So try to let go of that purity. I mean, you just see like white, pure, clean, cleansed, blank, like when we scrub the bathtub. And that's not the kind of thing that we're talking about. We're talking about being true to yourself, true to who you are, finding power and strength in who you are and being of that energy. And so this full moon that's coming up in Virgo, opposite Pisces, really shines this light on your internal, true, deeper self. You know, the sun is in that deep self, that Pisces energy of deep emotions and, you know, internal workings and bringing out that pure transformational energy, while the moon being in Virgo is shining a light on your individuality, who you are, who you should be, and helping you to find the confidence and the strength in that, and being able to work through that and find your power. Too often we consider power with like dictatorships and this might of power, and that's not necessarily where power comes from. You know, this power comes from within, and it doesn't have to be that destructive, domineering kind of power. Confidence is a form of power, and so you have to have that confidence in who you are, and this moon is really going to help that. So this is a great time to do magic of transforming to self, of honoring self, of loving yourself, calling upon the goddess's love. This is a great time to do like a ritual bath where you really honor yourself and you bless yourself, and kind of like an annual baptism of self. Like, I am of myself, and this is who I am, and I am proud of myself, and I love myself, and I encourage myself to be true to myself so that I can become my ideal self and really just be me. And so that's a big part of all of this energy. Aside from that, if you look at the astrological chart right now, you have the moon right here in Virgo, and across from it, we have all the other planets. It reminds me of an archer's arrow, where the planets make up the bow, and you're pulling back the string, and your hand is the moon with the arrow, and it's ready to shoot. And it's highlighting all of these energies of all of the other planets and the way that they're influencing us. So the big things about this energy that we have with the planetary energy is that we have, first and foremost, in Aquarius, we have we have Mercury. So you pretend this is the moon, and here's Mercury. If I was super fancy, I could like draw things on the screen. But we're not going to. Just use your imagination. Powers of visualization are great to practice all the time. Okay, so down here we have the moon. And then up here we have Mercury, Jupiter, and Neptune all kind of conjunct with each other. So Mercury and Jupiter are conjunct, and then Jupiter and Neptune are conjunct. And so this Mercury-Jupiter conjunction brings in this grand and noble writer. It makes me think of Chaucer, and like that, someone who just has the words to be able to build and create, just that kind of energy that builds. Sorry, when I said that about Chaucer, I just immediately went to A Knight's Tale when he's running around naked and he's just speaking, and he finally, anyways. But it's that energy, it's that character's energy almost, that this Jupiter-Mercury energy is bringing together. It is, allowing you to have this grand expansion of your writing and speaking and communicating, greater thinking, expanding that, and helping you to communicate. And then we have Jupiter-Neptune conjunct, and they are both, this brings about this like mystical energy of the seer, and like I almost think of like the hermit coming out of his hermitness and saying something, and like really wise and profound wisdom coming, and this great expansion of this mystical energy. And so all together, it's creating this like ability to communicate with the divine in a beautiful way. And so this is a great time to do like divine downloads, to sit down, maybe do some free writing, do some meditation, and really let your spirit guides and your divine and these energies kind of speak to you and speak through you and help you to communicate. And so we've got this great expanding energy. Then we also have a grand earth trine, specifically because all of these elements are associated with earth, but between the moon, Pluto, and the north node. And so this is going to bring about a really deep, intense energy that might bring about emotional revolutions. It's going to heighten your intuition. It's going to empower the people to speak their truths and come out and say what they need to say and really ground in that truth. And so we've got conjunct, we've got those trine, which is a very positive energy, and then we still have Mars and Venus conjunct, so they're just trotting along together, which just brings about this really unifying energy of the people. And so you do see a lot of groups coming together, you see people coming together and standing up and saying, hey, I have something to say. It's bringing about new relationships, bigger communities, and all of that. And as these these planets move in conjunction, they are coming square to Uranus. Now, this is, Uranus is like this, flowing energy that just is like telling you that you need to be strong and stand up for what is right, and you need to, it's urging for freedom. It is a revolutionary energy, because what the square is doing is it's pointing at these problems. So with the Venus square with Uranus, it's pointing at the issues in your financial situations. It's pointing at places in your relationships that you need to expand or focus on. It is showing you the problems that need to be fixed in your financial and love matters. Now, when we go to Mars, this is it holds a lot of tension. There's a lot of pressure behind this square. You see a lot of eruptions, you see earthquakes, you see big things like that happening on a global scale, but on an individual scale, you might feel this tension building up inside you. If you have some mania with the spring or spring fever or whatever, it might feel a little more heightened, like, oh my God, I might explode if I don't plant some seeds. Okay, no, it might not be about that, but anything that it is. In conjunction with this being the worm moon, which is when this energy from beneath is warming and bubbling, and we see the worms returning and we see the birds returning, we again have that heightened energy. So we have this bubbling energy from below. It's like a cauldron. It's about to explode. Luckily, we have these other nicer energies. It's like, oh, the divine are coming down, and they have words of wisdom to share with you to help you through these times of trust, to help you have trust through these troubled times. By the equinox, the moon will be conjunct with Homer, which is the little planet. But it is the Hawaiian goddess, the divine mother, who brings bounty out of nothing. And that is very symbolic, being the equinox, and this is her holiday when things are born, things are brought to life. We have barren lands. You can see behind me, my garden is super barren, but soon it'll start growing and we'll have this blessings. And so this brings a really great blessing for the year to come of new beginnings and transformation. We have all of this stirring energy, I guess, behind that, and kind of saying, look, we have this chaos, we have these troubled times, you might have this chaos inside you, you're going through transformational times because that's the time of the year, and we're ready to be reborn, we're ready to come out and be a part of the world as our true selves. And so this Virgo moon really helps to highlight that, like to empower you to come out of your cocoon from winter and be true to who you are and honor that. And Homer in this conjunction does the same thing. Together, these two goddesses are like a big hug from the community and the mother and everything. And they're saying, I love you and you can do this. And I'm proud of you for being who you are and being your pure, true self. So with that said, I feel like that's it. Accept that embrace. Take a deep breath under this full moon and take in that energy and feel that embrace from the goddesses and that divine feminine energy, which is so strong right now. The sun is in Pluto, which is a feminine aspect, and the moon is in Virgo, which is a feminine aspect, and we're coming into spring, which is this very feminine bounty and blessing and growth. And so all of this energy is just like a big warm hug from your favorite grandma or your favorite feminine female role model. And that energy, your matriarch, and she is telling you that she is proud of you and that she loves you and that she accepts you for who you are, and she blesses that energy and she encourages you to move forward with that blessing. I don't know what else to say after that, because that's just such a grand statement to receive from the gods, and to be reminded of this on the spring equinox and to have all of this energy is just this beautiful culmination of energy that helps you to transform and be that beautiful butterfly that you are meant to be. So I encourage you all to really just absorb that love and take it in and feel it, honor yourself and be true to who you are. So if you have any questions, don't forget to ask. Many blessings to you. I hope you have a fantastic day and that your spring equinox is blessed. Don't forget to like and subscribe.